What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land. And just the other day, my favorite Mario game of all time was announced as part of the Mario 3D All-Stars, and I am super excited to play this game once again. But one thing you may not have noticed is just how much has changed with this game, at least graphically, because it looks almost completely different. And the just graphic style is so cleaned up, it's so much better than the original. I just had to make a comparison for you guys to see. So pretty much, yes, the only thing that really changed was graphically, but there are some small changes that looks like may have been implemented within like Mario's run, and also Mario's jump height looks like it was adjusted, and some kind of assets of the game were adjusted to look a lot better, and I'm going to kind of showcase those. But first off, I'm going to show you the side-by-side comparison, just that alone, so you guys can see that for yourselves. Pause the video on the different scenes so you can see it for yourselves, and just take a quick look at how much has changed graphically for Mario Sunshine, and then we'll go over some of the frames and talk about exactly some of the big differences here. So one of my biggest takeaways is Mario Sunshine always had this ugly blur from a distance when you looked at distant buildings or mountains, and it had this blur effect to it, and you couldn't really tell who you were looking at, what character, and what item it was. But now that blur effect is completely gone. It's completely, traced out. All the objects are lined out perfectly, and you can clearly tell where you're going and what you're looking at. It's all very detailed. Also, the textures are so much better. You can see grass now. It's not just green. You can see the individual grass textures. You can see better footprints in the sand, and you can just see things a lot better. Like, look at the water level in Gelato Beach, for instance. You can clearly see the reef, and you can see the individual pieces of the coral in the water, and you can see the coin through the reef, and it just looks so much better. And it's clear that Nintendo took some time to really work with the assets of this game. I also feel like the lighting and the color hue of the game has overall changed. It's a lot more cooler and toned down, and like the original, it's really bright, it's really fluorescent, and everything kind of glows like a classic, goofy Mario game, but they kind of toned it to be more realistic. The grass is a lighter shade of green, everything just kind of toned down and dropped down a bit from its super bright aesthetic, like it was a 3D World game at first. But no, they gave it more of a realistic approach, and I actually really, really like that. But now it's time to get into some of the things that I've noticed that might have changed from the original game. First off, it looks like Mario's jump is a lot higher than the original. I was kind of playing around with this in the original to try to get Mario to jump that high, but it won't even happen unless you do a double jump at least. So, clearly it looks like they've kind of messed with his moveset a little bit to kind of make him easier to control, and what's easier to control than give Mario a higher jump than his original one. Something else that's worth noticing is Corona Mountain itself. The volcano is taller and skinnier than the original. I don't know why they would change this, so I don't know if they changed the actual Corona Mountain at all. I doubt it, but that's a cool asset that they changed, because the original was kind of short, stubby, and fatter, and a lot wider, and maybe they wanted to feel like an actual volcano. They wanted to be taller. Actually, technically, actual volcanoes are probably built more like the original. They're more fat, they're more, wide, but they decided to go the long and tall approach, I guess, in order for players to really see it, because sometimes it gets really hard to see the last level, and they kind of want to make it a point of view. Now, they showed some of these games at the very end of this trailer, and they showed Mario Sunshine again. And what was weird is some of the sound effects were completely different than what we were used to. The coin sound effect is different, and even the water squirt is a little bit different than the original. So many people are starting to believe, are there different sound effects being used here? Well, that might not be the case. Apparently, lots of these sounds are taken from the beta versions of Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, and it looks like they may have just overlaid the sounds just for the sake of the trailer. But if you want to hear them for yourself, I'll give you a snippet of the trailer and show you exactly what I mean. So yeah, overall, there's definitely been some changes. Now, obviously, I don't think the sounds are really changed. I think that was just for the trailer's sake. But obviously, the overworld and everything looks a lot different. You know, some assets have been changed completely, like Corona Mountain. And it looks like we have a lot smoother graphics. You know, there's that blur effect is gone, whatever that was when you looked into the background. Everything's a lot clearer. The colors are cooler. And the game just looks better than ever. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. For those of you that played Sunshine before, do you think this looks a lot better than original? I mean, it's kind of clear it does, but how do you feel about the graphics? Do you wish they would have done more with them? Are you happy with them? Or are you just excited like me to finally get your childhood favorite game again? But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.